today we're going to be looking at the laws of indices. We're going to look at the laws of indices up to grade 5. There are other laws of indices which include the fractional indices. We won't be covering this in this video. We'll be only going up to grade 5, and which will include the negative indices. Okay, so if we start with the first rule, when you have a to the power of m times by the same a to the power of n, we get to add the powers. Yes, we get to add the powers. So here's an example underneath. So a to the power of 3 times a to the power of 2 will just give us a to the power of 5. Okay, and then moving on, when we have a to the power of m divided by a to the power of n, we take away the powers. So it'll be m minus n. Please also note that they can rewrite this question on the top as a fraction. We all know this line means divide, so it's still going to be a to the power of m, take away n. So here's an example. A to the power of 7 divided by a to the power of 4 would give us a to the power of 3, because we take away the powers. What about when we have a to the power of m bracket a to the power of n? What we do is we times the powers when there's a bracket involved. So this would be a to the power of 18. Okay. Still moving on. A to the power of 0. Anything to the power of 0 would give you a 1. Anything to the power of 0 will give you a 1. It doesn't matter how big the number is, you would always get a 1. So here's an example. 1,000 to the power of 0 would change to a 1. Next rule, a to the power of 1. When we have a number to the power of 1, it actually just stays the same. It's just a. So a is the same as a to the power of 1. So some questions, they might not put the power on it, just know there's a power 1 actually there that no one has bothered to put. So 7 to the power of 1 is just a 7. Okay. Moving on to the next rule. Anything to the power of half. Anything to the power of half means you need to square root the number. So here's an example. 36 to the power of half would be square root of 36. And the square root of 36 is 6. Got a couple more rules to go. Anything with a negative half still means we need to square root it, but because we've got a negative, we stick a 1 on top. So that would give us 1 over root 36. Square of 36 we know is 6, so our answer will be 1 over 6. If you got confused with that bit, just listen to the next example which I'm going to show you. The last rule is when we have something to the power of a negative power. When you have a number to the power that is a negative, we stick a 1 on top and the negative disappears. That's right. When we have a negative power, we stick a 1 on top, which we can call the reciprocal, and the minus disappears. So let's do a typical exam question. 4 to the power of minus 2. Remember, it's got a negative power, so we stick a 1 on top. And guess what happens to the negative? It disappears. Don't just leave your answer like that. What's 4 squared? 4 squared is not 8. 4 squared is not 8. 4 squared means times 4 by itself. 4 times 4 is 16. And that is our final answer.